And we continue now with our great American panel. All right, so you have this Arab cultural festival that's going on in Dearborn, Michigan, and you have Christian missionaries. We got videotape of them. They're just handing out flyers, as you can see, to people that walk by. Anyway, so if you watch this video, all of a sudden the police come up, and the police end up, you know, arresting the Christian missionaries at the Arab cultural festival. Now, it sounds to me like that would be freedom of speech. Nobody has to, they weren't imposing their values. They're not forcing you to take the paper. Why would they be arrested for this? Is Sharia law taken over in Dearborn?
I grew up very close to Dearborn. This has been happening for a very long time. We have the largest Arab population outside of the Middle East in Dearborn. This exact situation happened last year, and people got it on tape, where security guards were roughing up people that were standing outside of this festival, handing out copies of the Gospel and John in both Arabic and English. It happened. Someone got it on tape. That's why the police officer confiscates the videotape. Yeah. It's very scary, because Bruce Bauer wrote a really great book called While Europe Slept that talks about this exact same situation that happens in Europe. They immigrate over, they get in their enclave, they're kind of a faith ghetto, and they don't, and Dearborn is not a ghetto, it's a great area, and they don't assimilate with culture, and then they demand that Sharia law be implemented where Muslims make up a majority of the population. It's not right.
The imam that wants to build this this mosque at Ground Zero, we found out through his own writings, wants Sharia law, America to be more Sharia compliant, a judiciary within a judiciary. So if Christian missionaries want to give out pamphlets,
it's absolutely under their constitutional rights to do so, anywhere in the country.
Why would the police arrest it? Are they just pandering?
And they wouldn't arrest Muslims. If they were doing the same thing, they would say that their rights are protected.
Well, we'd have the group CARE and all these other groups.
And exactly.
I agree with you that I don't understand, though, when I tried to run this by...
I knew eventually I'd get you to agree with me. I knew it would happen.
It's taken about a year, but when I ran this by my legal friends, they did point out some nuances between the distribution of literature and simple free speech, though, as we know, the judge overturned it, said that they should be allowed to distribute these pamphlets. I just think we need to be careful not to paint this with too broad a brushstroke and say that all Muslims...
What you saw, I'm not saying all Muslims anything. I'm saying the cops shouldn't have arrested the Christian missionaries.
You and I are agreeing, and I'm just taking it a step further and saying I want to be careful. Well, I think there are folks who may misunderstand.
We know there are Muslims in this country that want America to be Sharia compliant.
Yes, we do. We also know that there are millions of American Muslims who feel very differently and value freedom of religion.
But
it's important to acknowledge that they exist as well.
What about the guy that's building the mosque? He wants America more Sharia compliant? Wait a minute. Sharia law, women can't go to work, they can't go to school, they can't... Look at, for example, the morality police in Saudi Arabia.
I'm agreeing with you. I'm simply pointing out that in addition to all of that, there are plenty of American Muslims who value freedom of religion.
I think it's also important to remember there are lots of Christian Arabs. In my district, certainly there are Christian communities from the Middle East, and it's kind of silly to say that there shouldn't be Christian literature at an Arab festival. It wasn't just a Muslim festival. But the broader issue, I think, is the decline of respect for free speech in this country. Today, Congress and the House of Representatives passed the Disclose Act, which discriminates against corporations in favor of unions, and that's part of the symptom that we have of decline in faith of our Constitution. That's why we need this November especially to focus on getting representatives elected.
You got to give it to the candidate for being on message, because he has been on message all night long, and we've tried to get him off.
Why are you attacking him?
No, I'm just saying I'm very impressed because he's managed to take any topic and bring it back to his talking points.
Let me go